All right, so yeah, we're just finishing by putting this in with using joints, okay? So that's what they call it on Fusion 360. On Inventor, they used to call it constraints. So what we'll do here, we already made this a rigid group, which is important so that when I grab this, the whole thing stays together and they don't come into their separate parts, separate components. Um, you will go to Assemble or just hit the J key on your keyboard. All right. I usually like to capture position. The reason is if you just click continue, um, perhaps you moved something closer to where you wanted it or at a different angle. And if you click continue, it's going to undo that. So if you click capture position, it will at least keep things where they were when you started making your joint. All right. So capture position. And this is what we want to do. So I'm not sure you've done joints yet, probably not. This is your first assembly, so that's kind of cool. There are different joints you can make. All right, there's rigid, a revolute, slider, cylindrical, pin slot, planar, and ball. We're going to try to learn a few of these for this project, but we want to start with the rigid. Okay, that's the most standard, straightforward joint that you can make. All right, so first we have to pick what we want to connect, and then to the other thing we want to connect it to. Okay, so we will go ahead and zoom in on this. All right, I'm rolling my mouse wheel so I can zoom in on it, and I want to make sure I get the back. Okay, so thing is, if you see these circles look like they're going at an angle, I want the back of the thing, back of the window, to connect to the front of the wall. All right, I want it to do that. I don't want it to go like through the wall or something. So here's a way to kind of fix that. If I go to this view, all right, and I got to pan over because it went away a little bit, it will now show me more kind of the way I want it to be. All right, so that is the right face. So I'm hovering over it so I see that face, not hovering over up here, okay? I'm hovering down here, and you can pick either of those. I'm just going to click the top one. So it's selected. You'll see now this says one selected. So I'm going to come over here now, and I'm going to go a little bit at an angle. So I like to use Shift and click the mouse wheel to adjust that. All right, you can also just use the view cube to change your view a little bit. All right, and I want it to connect to that. All right, so I'm just going to click that right there. All right, before I say OK, we want to position this the way we want it. All right, so first I want to make sure that it's not going through the wall and that it is connected to the wall. And you know what? Look at that. It is flush with the wall is one way we could say that. So that's perfect. We're good there. I don't have to move it forward or backwards. Great. Let's go to this angle view again. That's kind of a weird one. So I'm actually going to do the home and then choose the other corner. Okay. So we also want to make sure front to right or like side to side. It's where we want it. It's fine in the middle of the wall. You can actually choose to do something different if you like. I just want your window to be, like looking good, however you choose to put it. But we don't want it at the top because that's not how windows work. So we're going to actually drag this down. And, in fact, I'm just going to type in here -20. All right. And then I will say OK. Now, keep in mind, depending on which wall you're working on, those are different planes, right? So like this far wall over here, that might be the X plane or the Z plane, okay? So you might see different numbers changing here. Just make sure that in the end it looks correct. Click OK. And what do you know? We got a nice little window in there, all right? So yeah, that's it. I just need to see you put 2 windows in. You can put them kind of on whatever walls you like, wherever you like them, but they do need to be kind of in the middle of the wall, right? And try not to make them crooked, and do not let them get like through the wall, so it's kind of like halfway through. All right, have fun. Thanks.